Richard Crouse.
It is a generally accepted fact that the law of diminishing returns applies to movie sequels. The further away you get from the source material, the weaker the film. Now, of course, Cop Out, the new buddy cop movie from Kevin Smith, isn't a sequel. It only feels like one with the number 3 or 4 in the title. It is, more correctly stated, an homage to buddy cop movies of the 1980s like 48 Hours and Lethal Weapon, but it does beg the question, when does a movie stop being an homage and start simply being a rehash? Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan play Jimmy and Paul, veteran NYPD cops. They are the typical wild-card movie cops who cause as much carnage as they prevent. After a drug bust go wrong, they're both suspended for 30 days without pay. The without pay part is a tough pill for Jimmy to swallow, though, because his daughter is about to be married, and to come up with the $48,000 he needs to foot the bill for her ceremony, he decides to sell his prized possession, which is a rare, mint-condition baseball card. Now, when that is stolen, before he's able to sell it, he and Paul begin their own investigation, which leads them to an obnoxious, drugged-out thief, played by Sean William Scott, and a violent drug lord named after a Louisiana sandwich, the Po' Boy, played by Guillermo Diaz. Now, Cop Out is Kevin Smith's first studio film and marks the first time in 15 years that indie overlords Harvey and Bob Weinstein haven't been calling the shots. Not that it seems to have made much difference. Smith's trademarked vulgar humor is firmly in place, although in smaller doses than usual and without the sweet edge that Judd Apatow seems to bring to this kind of comedy. So, fans of bodily function jokes will not be disappointed. Nope, all the marks of classic Smith are here, and the only real difference between Cop Out and Smith's low-budget work is the addition of more crane shots, bigger stars, and higher production value. The only thing missing here is a cameo from Silent Bob, and the action and laughs that you would expect from this kind of comedy. Smith, it must be said, isn't an action director. His ham-fisted way with the climactic shootout scenes, and that's not a spoiler, you had to know there was going to be a shootout at the end of this thing, that's all clumsy, and it sucks the fun out of some of the film's latter moments. Worse, it's not nearly funny enough. Smith seems to find the characters way funnier than they actually are, allowing scene after scene to drag on way past their breaking point. There are some laughs, of course, mostly courtesy of Morgan, who, although he is essentially playing his 30 Rock character, brings an unhinged energy to every scene that he's in. His unpredictability, however, is the only unpredictable thing about the movie. It rehashes, and there's that word again, every cliche from the buddy cop genre, including stereotyped bad guys who make Tony Montana look subdued. According to Answers.com, the meaning of cop-out is, quote, a failure to fulfill a commitment or responsibility. And I can't help but think that the movie's title squares with this definition. Kevin Smith may have been committed to the project, but he failed to fulfill the responsibility of making a good movie.